Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. This is Chandani from Pun Vidyashram School. I hope you all would have watched Sorting Materials into Groups video lesson, and I think now you understood why different materials are used to make different objects, and we know that why materials are classified into different groups, and also we have studied the importance of classification. And I think now you classify different materials based on properties of materials like luster, hardness, roughness, solubility and transparency. In this session, we will recall the lesson sorting materials into groups, and at last we will answer few questions to understand the lesson better. The world we live in has a vast variety of objects which we can see, hear or feel. Some of these objects are natural while others are man-made. Many things are in solid form whereas others are liquid or gases. When we look around, we find a variety of objects. At home, there are clothes, shoes, utensils, beds, chairs, books, buckets and so on. Do we keep all these things at the same place? No, right? We keep clothes in the closets, shoes in the shoe rack, utensils in the kitchen, bed in the bedroom and so on. Similarly, in a library, the books are arranged on the basis of subject, class and author's name. Thus, placing or sorting similar things together is called grouping. The process of sorting and grouping things according to their similarities and dissimilarities is called classification. Classification makes the study of a large number of objects of different types easier, simple, convenient and systematic. We know that objects are made of materials. Some objects are made of only one material. However, an object can also be made of more than one material. For example, pencils, cooked vegetables and so on are made of more than one material. So we know that all objects around us are made of one or more than one type of materials. The use of different types of materials to make various objects depend on the nature of the material. We can use several criteria to group objects. You have already learnt about ways of grouping materials based on characteristics such as appearance, hardness or softness, solubility or insolubility in water, heaviness or lightness with respect to water, transparency, translucency or opaqueness. One way of grouping materials is by grouping them as rough or smooth. If you touch some materials, you can feel the bumps or ridges on their surfaces. Such materials are said to be rough. Example, rocks, sandpaper, bark of a tree, bricks and orange peels are the examples of rough surfaces. Smooth materials do not have bumps. Petals of flower, window panes, plates, cups, mirrors have smooth surfaces. Materials that have a shiny surface are said to be lustrous. We know that metals shine in their pure state. This is called metallic luster. Gold, silver, aluminium, copper and iron are examples of shiny metals. All the objects made of metals have shiny appearance. Those materials which have dull appearance are non-lustrous. They have no luster or shine. Paper, wood, chalk, rubber and sand are non-lustrous. All the objects made from these materials will also have dull appearance. Materials can be hard or soft. You can find this yourself by pressing different materials with your hand. Materials which can be compressed or scratched easily are called soft. For example, sponge, cotton, pillow, mattresses and quilts are soft materials. Hard materials are those which are difficult to compress. For example, stone, brick and iron rod. And the next property is heaviness. Some materials are heavier than water, whereas others are lighter than water. Heaviness or lightness of a material is indicated by the term density. Any substance heavier than water has higher density than water. Such a material will sink in water. On the other hand, any substance lighter than water has lesser density than water and consequently floats on the surface of water. So from this we can conclude the substance which are heavier than water will sink in water and the substances which are lighter than water will float on water. All substances can be grouped on the basis of three main physical states: solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. We know that solids have a definite shape and volume. For example, you can move a box from one place to another, but its shape and volume does not change. So, you can say solids do not easily change their shape or volume. And then liquid state. Yes, we know that they have a definite volume but no definite shape. They take the shape of the container they are poured in. For example, pouring milk from a jug into a tumbler causes milk to take the shape of the tumbler, but you still have the same amount of the milk. Its volume does not change, only it changes its shape. And the next state is gaseous state. They do not have a definite shape or volume. They are highly compressible. For example, if you pump air into a football, the air fills the football and takes the shape of football. Its volume changes, right? It takes up less space in the football than it did outside the football. That is, when the air is outside, it occupies more space. When it is filled inside the football, it takes less space. So, air is highly compressible. And the next property is solubility. Some materials dissolve or completely mix with a liquid, whereas several others do not dissolve or mix with a given liquid. The solid substances which dissolve in water are called soluble substances. For example, common salt, sugar and glucose are some examples of soluble substances. The solid substances which do not dissolve in water are called insoluble substances. Example, chalk, sand, plastic, stone and wax are insoluble in water. And the next one is solubility of liquids in water. The liquids which dissolve in a given liquid are called miscible liquids. For example, honey, vinegar, alcohol, lemon juice and glycerin are miscible with water. The liquids which do not dissolve in a given liquid are called immiscible liquids. For example, kerosene, cooking oils, coconut oil, petrol and diesel are immiscible with water. I repeat, What are miscible liquids? The liquids that can dissolve in another liquid. What are immiscible liquids? The liquids that do not dissolve in another liquids. Like solids and liquids, some gases are soluble in water and others are insoluble in water. For example, oxygen and carbon dioxide are soluble in water. Oxygen dissolved in water helps aquatic plants and animals to survive in water. Carbon dioxide dissolved in water helps the aquatic plants in photosynthesis. And the insoluble gases are nitrogen and methane. And the next property is transparency. The materials through which we can see easily are called transparent materials, and this property is called transparency. Some examples of transparent materials are glass, water, air, and some plastics. Transparent materials allow light to pass through them completely. And we know that shopkeepers mostly keep biscuits, sweets and other eatables in transparent containers. Do you know why? Because plastics and glasses are transparent containers. So, the consumer can easily see these items to make their choice. The materials through which we can see but not clearly are called translucent materials. For example, oily paper, frosted glass and colored water. Translucent material allow light to pass through them partially, and this property is called translucency. The materials through which we cannot see are called opaque materials, and this property is called opacity. Wood, stone, metals, books are examples of opaque materials. Opaque materials do not allow any light to pass through it. So we cannot see through an opaque material. I hope you recall the lesson. Now let us answer some questions. What is the need for classification? Classification is essential for identification of objects, sorting of objects, locating things, understanding similarities and dissimilarities among objects, and also classification makes the study of objects easy and more meaningful. And the next question, list 5 each opaque and transparent materials. Can we list some opaque materials? Yes, wood, iron, cardboard, brick and gold. So all these are opaque materials. Yes. Can we list some transparent materials? Yes. Water, glass, air, cellophane plastic and fiberglass. And the next question, why is a tumbler not made with a piece of cloth? And the answer is, this is because we generally use a tumbler to keep a liquid. A tumbler made of a piece of cloth cannot be used to keep water. So, a tumbler is made with a material which has a property to hold the liquid. And the next question, name 2 gases each which are soluble and insoluble in water. Gases soluble in water are oxygen and carbon dioxide. Gases insoluble in water are hydrogen and nitrogen. Next question. How does the grouping of objects help the shopkeeper? Answer is, the grouping of objects in proper place makes it easier to work. When we go to purchase some things, The shopkeeper locates it easily because there are separate shelves to put various items and similar things are kept at one place. If he randomly places all of these, he would never be able to find them so quickly and easily. And the next question is, what are the similarities between iron, copper and aluminium? Yes, we know that they all have luster because they all are metals. They are hard. Yes, these are the similarities of iron, copper and aluminium. I hope this session helped you to recall the lesson and to understand the lesson better. Thank you.